What is this?
A center for ants?
Well, I must say, for a casual weekend, quite an experience.
You allow this sort of thing in your department, you're basically saying it's okay.
No, I'm saying that I don't care what they do as long as my life isn't interrupted by pointless conversations like this one.
Shut up!
It's Hard-Headed Sports with Spinny and Fetty Bus. Famous for their podcasts, you can now catch them right here on The Al Travis Show.
We've got him Spinny in with us today from Hard-Headed Sports. Spin, how you doing, my friend?
I'm doing wonderful, Al. How are you?
Good. For folks who do not know, of course, you do the Hard-Headed podcast. I think everybody knows that. But you are also the volleyball coach for the Olies up there at St. Olaf, and you're in the off-season. What's that mean for a coach of volleyball? What are you doing these days?
Well, this is kind of different depending on the time of year, right? Like, we have a spring season where we practice and play, but that doesn't start until the end of February. So this time of year is a lot of just planning for that, doing scheduling.
When you say practice and play, is it part of your actual games that count against your lives, or is it just practice? It's like, Grapefruit League baseball?
Yeah, it's like Grapefruit League baseball. Yep. So we'll have, a few dates, like 24 dates where we can practice, and then we'll have a big scrimmage, like with a few other schools.
Okay.
But this time of year is a lot of just recruiting. So responding to emails of those that have reached out to us, a lot of like emailing, spreadsheets of like, this next couple weeks, there's a lot of big club tournaments that we go to. So, like, who's at what tournament, who we got to go see, that type of stuff. We're pretty much done with our class that will come in this fall. So, 2026 high school graduates. So, it's a lot of looking at juniors, 2027 high school graduates, and kind of planning through that class right now.
If I may ask, and maybe this is the secret sauce and why you guys are so good and you don't want to tell me, but if that's true, just say I don't want to say it now. When you look at volleyball players, a junior, obviously the statistics are there, right? Height, weight, speed. I don't know if you guys do the 40-yard dash or whatever. And you look at the number of kills or whatever it is that you're looking for. But how are you able to use what I think is most important, because as my kids were going through sports, that attitude to be coachable, right? You can't teach height. I get it in basketball. You're a tall kid, you got tall. But are you willing to play the way we want you to play? How do you find that stuff out? Or is that anything that matters? You take a shot. You can't actually put that down on paper.
It definitely matters, Al. I mean, I think like you said, like in volleyball, we look at block touch jump and approach touch jump a lot for like numbers of like, I need you to get to this certain number in order for you to be successful a lot of times. So like that is a big part of it. And like, if you're a hitter, like you have to swing hard and get kills, right? But there is quite a few of those athletes, right? Like there's a lot of athletes right now. So I think that the attitude part is a huge part of it. Like big things we look at. Are you filling your own water bottle on the sideline, or are you yelling at your parents to fill up your water bottle? When you're standing on the sideline, are you engaged in the game? Are you like locked in, like helping your teammates out? Or are you just kind of in la la land looking around? When you're on the court, like are your teammates feeding off your energy? Like when you do something cool and get amped, are your teammates amping you up, or are they not? And are you amping your teammates up in the same way when they do something cool, or do you only get excited when you do something cool? So there's a lot of like going into watching that stuff. I mean, that's one of the biggest things we look for at tournaments like this.
Aren't they hiding that from you? Okay, I'm going to be honest. I went to a 3-team tournament here this winter because I actually do enjoy watching volleyball played well. But when you talk about like how they act on the sidelines, they got their own little cheer things going on. It's this whole clapping thing. I'm like, what in the world is that? You're being distracting. I get it. Maybe they're pumping their teams up, defense, whatever it is. But everyone seems to have to participate in that, right? And then the whole thing about pumping each other up. This is the weirdest thing about volleyball. After every play, the whole team gathers around. Hugs, kisses, whatever, slaps to the butt, and then back out. It is a strange cult-like thing going on a volleyball court. Am I wrong?
No, I mean, that is definitely a big part of the game. And it's just such a mental game, Al, from the perspective of like, there's no contact with the other team, you know? So I think that comes with a lot of it, of like trying to stay mentally locked in and not get too down on yourself and stuff like that. And a lot of it is too just matching what our team culture is. Like we have a little bit more emotional, have fun, like ampy team culture. So if you're a little more chill, I just like get a little there's a little more hesitancy, right? On
Okay.
like, if are you going to fit with our team culture or not? And I
And
think that's a big part of it too. And yes, they can hide it. But again, if I go out and watch you 5 times or 10
yeah,
times, it's harder for you to hide it every single time, right? And then, as we get further in the process, we'll have you on a visit to campus, we'll have you on a phone
yeah.
call. Like, there's a lot of, that
How,
goes into seeing if you fit right with us.
how much more is it that some parent sends you the video, right? Don't they all make videos now? You got some website that gives you all your video stuff, all your does. We want to come to play at St. Olaf, and you notice, okay, that's great. Or what would that carry as much weight as, let's say, a coach comes up to Spin and says, Spin, I know the kind of people you want. This gal is your gal. Do you get a lot of that from coaches?
It's more like, so if a parent reached out to me, I mean, that's okay, but it is a little bit of like a yellow flag, right? Like, I
Okay.
want the player doing the emailing and reaching out to me and doing that stuff. I think that, the self-motivation, huge thing we look for. And
Okay.
I think the coaching step comes a little later, right? Like, once I've had you for a visit on campus or had a call with you, I might reach out to their coach and be like, hey, this is what I'm seeing from this player. Is this true or not? Or what do you see?
All right.
So I don't get a lot of like coaches coming up to me with recommendations. It's more like me reaching out to coaches after I've had a good amount of back and forth with the athlete and the athlete's family.
Okay, I presume, what do you got, 12, what is there, 6 on the court, so do you have 12, 15 people on a team? Are you allowed, how many are you allowed to have?
Yeah, usually around 20 is the
Okay.
number we go for. Yes, 6 play on the court, but usually about 9 or 10 are like in your rotation, quote unquote. So I think like we usually go double what the rotation size
Okay,
is.
well, let's go with 20s because it's easy math. So every 4 years, let's say 5 players are graduating and moving on, right?
Yep.
So to get 5 replacement players, and some more or less, how many students do you go through? How many do you look at to get 5?
I mean, that's hard to give you a number, Al, because
Okay.
it just depends a lot on like if the first 5 people that I'm super interested in are like, hey, yeah, let's do it, then like could be a lot less. But I'd say
Okay.
on average, around that 40 to 50 number for St.
Okay.
Olaf of athletes per class that like you have maybe a call with or a visit with, and then narrowing that down. But that's very different school by school. The last school I was at was a little less attractive as a school itself than St. Olaf. So like
Okay.
maybe we would get 200 or 250 athletes to get down to that 5 to 7 number. So a lot of it depends on like your school and all that stuff.
I want to talk about NFL with you, but I'll go to break early here. Just one last question. But at a St. Olaf level, it isn't like is there NIL money or you can't give scholarships, right? This is literally our school fits you, and so does our sports program. That's your 2 selling points?
Yes. We can't give athletic scholarships. A big thing we target, right, is high academic kids, right? Because St. Olaf is like a top 15% institution in the United States. So like, and we have a big like GPA requirement and stuff. So like, it's a lot of like those kids that really value academics, and that's what we're going for. So it's just kind of a different little target audience. Like, I've worked at a D2 school in the past, right? And that's a little bit more like we have athletic scholarships. Who do we give our biggest scholarship to, and then how do we delegate going down from there? So it changes a little bit division by division.
Fair enough, Spinny. I appreciate that inside look because, again, these are things I think about as I was watching those college games, thinking how these girls got where they are. And girls volleyball in college is fantastic to watch. I got to go to break. We'll be back after this. We'll talk NFL and hopefully get to the NBA. I've got him, Spinny from Hardhead Sports.
You need a friend at the Capitol who knows how to get things done.
And you're in luck because that's exactly who we are. Your friends at the Capitol, and we deliver results.
At Momentum Advocacy, we bring decades of experience in lobbying, public affairs, and crisis communications.
From local nonprofits to national corporations, we help you move policy, manage your media, and make your voice heard.
We're not just seasoned pros, we're essential partners.
Momentum Advocacy, your friends at the Capitol. Learn more at momentum-advocacy.com.
Think about it. A famous politician once said, "You're entitled to your opinion, but you are not entitled to your own facts." But in a world full of AI and fake news, Where can Minnesotans find the facts? Center of the American Experiment is Minnesota's go-to source for fact-based analysis and common sense solutions for taxes, energy, public safety, and our kids' education. Visit AmericanExperiment.org for more information. Think About It is brought to you by Center of the American Experiment, Minnesota's think tank.
It's nice to know a guy that knows a guy. Al Travis.
Lucky to have me, Spinny from Hard Headed Sports. Wherever you get your podcast, look him up, Hard Headed Sports. Spinny, let's bust down the NFL. If you have anything from the last weekend's games you want to throw in, please feel free. But I really want to talk about the games that are coming up. We have the Broncos and the Patriots. Broncos ended up beating the Bills in what I thought was the best game of the weekend. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, like, look, I'm going to be a little critical of Josh Allen. Like, I mean, man's been Superman, and he's the reason they're there, and he's amazing. But I felt like in the media this week, it's been a ton of like, oh, poor Josh, poor Josh, poor Josh. Josh had 4 turnovers in that game. 4.
Yeah.
4 of them. Like, yeah, you wouldn't be there without him, blah, blah, blah. I agree. But every other top-tier quarterback gets criticized when they have 4 turnovers in a game. So I'm, you know.
You're going my way, though. You want to put domes on them, right? They got to stop playing these games in this rain and crap when it comes to this much importance. The Super Bowl is never going to be played outdoors in Denver in February. They're not going to play it outdoors in any of these other stadiums. Put a dome on it, right? Thanks for agreeing, Spinny.
Yeah, I don't agree, but I do like the weather element.
Well, you do, but then we don't do that all the way through the Super Bowl. How come?
Yeah, I mean, the Super Bowl's always been. I mean, what was it? 3 years ago, they played the Super Bowl outside at the Meadowlands. It's doable.
All right. Well, you have the Patriots and the Texans. Patriots end up, obviously winning that ball game. They're in. Interesting game. It was boring. Texans defense did everything Texans defense can do. You take the 28 points, take 7 off because the offense turned that over. What do you have? 4 turnovers himself, the guy for Texas?
Yeah, and that's what I mean, Al. Like, Stroud has 4 turnovers, and it's like he's the worst quarterback ever to look at a football. And Josh Allen has 4 turnovers, and we're like, oh, but his roster. Oh, but his defense. It's like, okay, yeah. I mean, I've been saying that about the Bills all year, but it's just like it's playoff ball, and the quarterbacks get blamed, and Stroud looked real bad.
All right, flying through this. Who wins, Broncos or Patriots this weekend?
I'm going to pick New England overall. I do think the spread is crazy, though. 5.5 point favorites on the road in Denver is just crazy to me. I know it's Jarrett Stidham. I get all that.
They got injuries at the Broncos as well.
Yeah, and I think Denver could win this game. I think this is going to be a close game, but Drake May's significantly better than Jarrett Stidham, obviously, and the rest of the roster is pretty close.
All right, let's roll through this. Seahawks and 49ers, horrid ball game. There's nothing left of the Niners. The Seahawks are in. I'm just happy Darnold got that off his back. He can win a playoff game. He can win 15 games in a season. I'm happy for Darnold.
Happy for Darnold. The Niners' Cinderella clock finally hit midnight. I was surprised they even made it as far as they did with the amount of injuries on the team.
Rams and Bears, they made that interesting. That last second throw with 17 seconds, 50 yards, guys open 5 yards. That fact they tied it, I thought the Bears were going to pull the Bears thing, but the Rams held them off, and the Rams are in. So your thoughts on that game, and then Rams Seahawks.
Caleb Williams is insane. That's about my only thoughts. I know he's got the lows too, but his highs are just unbelievable. And credit to the Rams. I just think the Rams are a more talented team up and down, and they finally just got it done at the end.
So who wins, Seahawks or Rams?
Rams, Seahawks. Al, I think this is the Super Bowl. I just have a hard time believing the winner of this game will not dominate the team that they're playing. But this is so hard. I'm going to go with the Rams. The Rams were a team I've been saying since about week 3 is going to win the Super Bowl, and I love what they bring to the table. I think Sean McVay's the best coach left. I think Matt Stafford's the best quarterback left. I think a lot of times that leads to winning Super Bowls. So,
all right, fair enough. I want to get to the NBA just real quick. Your Minnesota Timberwolves seem to be in a bit of a free fall. They have lost their last 3 to Rockets, to the Spurs, to the Jazz. The Spurs loss was interesting to me. They let them get the Spurs scored 48. The Spurs scored 48 points in the second quarter. It was like they weren't even on the court. Fought like everything to get back in that ball game and still put the loss up. I think mentally this hurt this team.
Yeah, I do think, Al, this team's mentally tougher than they were in previous years. I have seen moments of that, like you talked about in the Spurs game, like not quitting and really fighting all the way to the end, even in a loss.
I would tell you this, Ben. A year ago, we would complain they just gave up a game, right? They just, for whatever reason, weren't there. Now it's just quarters.
Yeah.
How a pro team gives up 48 points in a quarter, they weren't there, and then it's all that work to get yourself back. They don't give up games, but they're willing to sit out for quarters. It's not as bad, but that's how you get 3 losses in a row.
No, I agree, but we're getting there, right? I feel like there's progress. I feel like I've seen it in Ant too, as far as trying to get others involved, and then only taking over when it's necessary for us to win games. Our defense has to be a little better. I mean, Keontae George for the Jazz just absolutely cooked us in a crock pot. That was awful to watch at some points, but I think we'll get back after it. I like where the team's at. I'm really like our starting 5 has the second best plus minus in the league, so I'm very confident in those. And like I said, Al, we just need to get one of the point guards from Chicago. 3 point guards.
Right.
DeSamu, White, and Trey Jones, all available for Chicago. Can we get one of them so we can have a real point guard and I can stop having to watch Mike Conley limp around on the court?
Here's what's interesting about that. We have Chicago coming up. Watch that game tomorrow night, I believe. We have then 2 against Golden State. Golden State, with those 2, depending how this goes, could overtake us in the standings. We're already down to 7th. We're in the play-in now. I know you said you're happy with where we're at, but that's where all these games do matter. At one point, we're almost in second place. Now we're 3 games out of that.
And it's going to be the West all year, right? Like, second place to play-in is not going to be that big, especially with the Jokic injury and other things. So
yeah. All right. You're not so bad about that. All right. No. We got to go. I appreciate you, Spin. How does somebody pick up Hard Headed Sports?
Yes, Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcast. Also wanted to shout out the Vikings really quick before we go. Yep. Brian Flores signed multi-year contract to be the defensive coordinator of the Vikings. Big moves and pickup by Minnesota.
Oh, that's fantastic. Didn't I hear, though, that that's contingent on that he doesn't get a head coaching spot, or is it that's lock solid now?
I mean, he still could sign a head coaching job if it came up, but
that's not it.
Usually that wouldn't happen. Usually you wouldn't sign him to an extension and then he would leave.
All right, fair enough. Spinny, I appreciate you, my friend. We'll get you back here on Tuesday.
Thanks, Al.
It's Hard Headed Sports on the Al Travis Show.
At LGH Wealth Management, our mission is to create financial empowerment through independent